You're listening to BSI, the podcast with Benny Philhauer, Dowsy and Iko Para. Enjoy!
Yeah, I like a lot of their players, especially their right back.
General, yeah.
Yeah, you've been echoing just now.
Anyways,
Wait, do we have a guest appearance?
Oh,
that's why. Look at this guy, dude. Welcome to BSI, the podcast. We got a great guest today, Sal, a guy that I played with in 2018, a certified baller in midfield. Mark Anthony Kaye is coming on.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of interesting questions to ask him. I think a lot of people are going to be curious to how he kind of rose to become the player that he is today, because I think he's a top 5 central midfielder in the MLS. So,
you were talking to me like we were talking about it. You're like, dude, I don't know like too much about this guy, and and I was like, yeah, but he's like an interesting dude. We'll ask him questions about, he started in Toronto in the academy, then he ended up playing USL with Louisville, won a championship there, came to LAFC as a guy that hadn't really played center midfield very much. Bob turned him into one of the best center midfields. I don't want to say Bob turned him into it. He obviously helped him, but obviously, I think Mark saw himself. He saw, and Mark saw himself as a center midfielder. So obviously both had a lot of merit in turning him into what he is now. And now he's part of the Canadian national team. They want to play in the World Cup. I think he's very optimistic that at some point he'll be playing in Europe. So a lot of, I think, really cool things that we can talk to him about.
Yeah, it'll be nice. So let's hear it. Let's get going.
Yeah. And without further ado, as I usually say, let's bring in Mark Anthony Kaye. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome, Mark Anthony Kaye, to the podcast, dude. It's long overdue. My partner in crime a couple of years back, dude. How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been waiting eagerly to get on.
Yeah, I always feel like the SKC guys and the LAFC guys, I couldn't bring too many of them on at once, or else it just seems like I'm just, playing favorites. So
yeah, no, I understand.
But I'm glad you're on it now, bro. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, I don't know if have you listened to our show before? A lot of people say they have, but they really haven't. So
I'm going to be straightforward and be honest with you. I haven't. You know what I mean?
All right. So I'm going to tell you what it's like. So you're in for a doozy right here, because I don't even know if I should say this, but this is going to be much harder than the game that you played in a couple nights ago against the Galaxy. I know I told you that on the text thread, but this is not a cakewalk. So you'll first get some quick hitters, easy questions, get you warmed up, get you into the game. Then we'll do the interview portion. And then usually Ike is the one that does the Ike's interrogation, but he's not with us right now as he's doing some stuff, some rehab, during the tournament. So he's not partaking during the tournament. So me and Sal will do our best impersonation of Ike and his interrogation with some really tough questions, 5 questions, and you get to plead the 5th one time. If you don't plead the 5th to all 5 questions and you answer them all, you can ask any one question to me or Sal. So if you feel confident enough that you're going to answer all of them, then start getting prepared a question for us.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. First 4 questions are basically we're changing it up a little bit from past, because these quick hitters have been slow. So we're gonna go quick hitters, 1-word answers from you.
You can go into depth after though, but
we can talk about it after. But 1-word answer to describe LAFC's inaugural 2018 season.
Exciting, I would say.
Exciting. Yeah, I'd agree.
Good. I'd agree. Good answer.
Lots of ups and downs that first.
Yeah, but I think, everyone was just so excited to start. It was like we were the new kids on the block. Everyone was just happy. It finally came into fruition. So I just remember there was a lot of excitement around the whole club, and even the staff and the front office and stuff. It was just, I feel like the way they were treating us was I knew they couldn't sustain that. In the sense, with all the owners and everything, but they wanted us to make.
Dude, Will Ferrell's done pretty well about that though. He's all about it.
Yeah, he's still there. But do you remember us going to all these houses and seeing these mansions in Beverly Hills? Hasn't happened since then.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
You guys haven't gone back for barbecue at Peter Guber's house anymore?
Nah, man.
With the magician, there was a magician there. Remember?
They mic'd you up that time. It was hilarious.
Dude, you guys have it nice out there in LA.
It was nice.
That
Year
was
one was
sweet.
nice. Dude, it's funny because like this is how I felt during the year. I don't know if you felt like this, but during the year it felt like it was a lot of ups and downs. Like there was like the Galaxy game when we lost 4-3 was like devastating. There was the Atlanta game that we lost 5-0. But and there was obviously plenty of ups and some downs. But looking back on it now, I mean that was a ridiculously good year. For an expansion.
When you said exciting, I was gonna say successful. Like it was a successful year. Like your first year in the league.
It's
you
but
guys.
Sal, like we lost to Houston in penalties in the Open Cup semifinal. We would have hosted Philadelphia in the finals. We lost to Salt Lake in the playoffs when we outshot them. I don't know how many to 2 and they scored 3 goals. So it was like it could have been better. It could have been more.
Yeah. That's why I didn't say successful because you look at our next year and we actually, got some hardware. But
don't worry, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to next year. But yeah, I think exciting is a really good word. And like looking back on it, I think, and maybe you haven't done that yet since you're still there and you're living it still. But I mean, that year was phenomenal. I think in the sense that it was an expansion team. We're all coming together. I remember Diego Rossi in preseason. Like I was like, dude, this guy's got a terrible touch. I was like, what is going on? This guy's our DP, and now, dude, he scored like 40 goals in 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. It just had to come into his own, so it was good.
For sure. All right, good answer. All right, next question. We're moving on to LAFC 2019. Same exact question. What is the best word to describe it? I mean, let me just remind the viewers, you guys broke the record for number of points in the regular season. I'm pretty sure you broke the record for goal differential because you guys won by like tons of goals. You guys won Supporter Shield. You guys lost, I believe, in the quarterfinals at home in Open Cup. Was it quarters or semis?
Yeah, quarters. Yeah,
quarters. And you guys lost, obviously, to Seattle in the conference finals in the playoffs. So what's one word or phrase or whatever to describe that year?
See, I feel like a lot of people are going to argue against this one, but I would like to say like historic in the way the regular season went. Obviously we didn't win MLS Cup, and we didn't win Open Cup, but the way we went through that season, not many clubs have been able to do that. And we just, we couldn't be stopped. And you look at the games we lost that year and we rotated players during those games and we're resting players. But if we played, full strength every game, man, we would have crushed the points record, Yeah. So
you did. I mean, you beat it anyways, right?
Yeah, we beat it, but like we beat it by like 1 point or something like that. It was like sad at the end. Like, we had like 4 or 5 games left and we could have like crushed the points record. We beat it by 1. It's just like, it's a little disappointing, but then you have to look at the overall season. It was historic. Like we're just beating up on teams. It was fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a good, I don't think anybody can argue with that. It was historic. You're not saying anything, over the top or definitely not negative, but like it was historic. You guys broke the points record, and what more can you say? I mean, you guys crushed it.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was fun.
All right, next question. Same along the same lines. One word or phrase to describe the MLS is back tournament so far for you guys, or what it's been like over there.
For us personally as a club?
For you as a person, as a player, and a player.
Interesting.
You can elaborate on that one if you'd like.
It's just like the way they put everything together, man. Like if you were here, it'd be hilarious. Like honestly, I think it's a good thing you're not with us in this situation because, man, oh my God, like when it goes to these 10:30 games, the food we have to eat, the whole quarantine process, like. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting that it's actually working, but like it's not as enjoyable as some people might think. You know what I mean?
Benny's complaining would have been on another level if he was there, I believe.
No, I would have been looking at, you said the 10:30, the night games. I'm thinking about like pasta marinara at 5 a.m. for the 9 a.m. game. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know how bad those games are, but I'm telling you, man, like you wake up and you have so long, more than 12 hours to kill before you play a game at 10:30. Your body's like half asleep.
Yeah, you got to take two sleeps during the day.
Yeah.
You get back to the hotel at what time? Like 1 a.m. after the 10:30 game?
Later than that, man.
Really?
Drink your protein shake at 2 a.m.
4:35.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts. All right, last question from the quick hitters. This one's a little bit tougher, but I think you'll do good. We've had conversation about this in the past, so I'm curious. Mark Anthony, you complete the sentence for me. Mark Anthony Kaye will no longer be at LAFC by year.
I want to say by the end of the year. Is it by the end of the year?
Let's say by the beginning, I guess whatever. You could say in the summertime or wintertime, whatever.
I would say 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that, dude. I know we've talked about that in the past, and
yeah,
there's a lot of guys on that team that I think could make the jump, and obviously you're one of them.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting how everything pans out. Obviously, with COVID, and a lot of teams have been hit on the economic stage of everything because they're losing so much money. But I'm hoping that everything kind of resumes next year, and then that summer transfer window is a real thing.
Just talk to your boy, Alfonso. All right, quick hitters is done. I hope you're warmed up. We're going to get into the main interview now. And actually, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the Black Players Coalition. We talked about it. We had Jeremy Ebobisi on. Obviously, Ike is one of our co-hosts. So we've talked about it a little bit on the podcast. And I want to keep it going as much as we can. So I know that you were heavily involved in some of the protests in LA. And how has that been? I know you're in an interracial relationship as well. So this is all around you right now. So I'm curious, how has that been for you, for your girlfriend? How's it been?
Yeah, it's been eye-opening, I guess. Obviously, at the beginning, with the death of George Floyd, and then everything started to really pick up, and especially within the city of LA, so many people got behind the movement, and the next thing I'm at protests. I never had planned for it, but living downtown, they walk right by my street. So, I joined in, and it was nice to see so many people, so many different types of people fighting for, a great cause, and essentially fighting for everyone. You know what I mean? I had been saying it before, yes, right now it's a Black Lives Matter movement, but the entire movement is for equality for everyone, So, of course. Obviously LA is such a multicultural city. So it was really cool to see the different the different cultures and ethnicities that come together, and it's one voice. And I remember saying it to Rachel and my girlfriend when we were standing in front of City Hall, and I'm like, I don't think the people realize how much power they have. There's so many more of us than there are of the people that are the oppressors, in a sense. So it was really eye-opening to see how many people really want change. And then obviously I had to take the initiative on myself to use my platform for good. You know what I mean? I think over the years of being in LA, I've done a good job of creating a good relationship with our supporters and, within the community. So it's now that when I have something to say, people will actually listen to it, and
Sure.
I've tried to make sure that I came across the right way. Cause again, it's not my country. You know what I mean? I've lived in the US for about 5 years now, but I always want to be respectful to, Americans. They've been generous to me to let me in the country and to work and create a lifestyle. So when I had wrote my letter to America, I just tried to hit on the pride that Americans have. That was something I had realized, that the US is a very patriotic country. And I think that, people take pride in being American. And I was just trying to get them to understand that if they are so prideful, they should be, putting more of an effort to fight to make sure the US can be the best country.
There you go. We lost you for a split second, but you're good. Keep going.
Yeah. So, I was just talking about my letter to America and how I tried to go about that to get people to listen. And it's just been a good experience. And then obviously with the Black Players for Change, I think that was very important for it to be assembled in a time like this. I think, we waited a long time for MLS to put out something, and a lot of guys were upset with that, a lot. So I think with the assembling of the Black Players for Change, now we hold MLS to a high standard. They can't get away with anything. And I think that's how it should be. We should all be trying to hold each other to better standards so that everyone feels, safe and supported and equal. yeah, it's been great, and it's still early to judge how much we've done as a group, but it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, I talked to Ike about this a little bit, and I just hope, of course, we want to see the greater change in our community and society and in our country and in the world. But I really hope that this, at the very least, can start something more fair just within our league, right? So you can see more people of color in higher positions, coaching, general managers, technical directors, owners, all that kind of stuff, because that would be great, I think, to see that and just have fairness. That's what we're all looking for, is just fairness for all people. So
Yeah, I echo all that. I mean, we've talked about it, Benny, with Ike, but yeah, I hope it changes, within, the MLS bubble and the MLS world, and that it can, hopefully have effects on, the US as a whole. So
yeah,
I think it's great what you
I
guys
mean,
are
I
doing.
applaud you and obviously all the black players in our league that are taking part, and even players that might not be black that are taking part. I've heard a lot of other guys have reached out. I know Ike told me, I think Diego Valeri reached out, and I'm sure there's others that want to partake and kind of help in that movement. So I think that's fantastic, and I'm really happy. More than just grateful for you guys, but just happy that somebody's taking a lead, and like you said, holding MLS to a higher standard. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one way we have to go forward as a world in general. Everyone has to start holding each other to a better standard. So
Definitely. All right, we're going to move into some soccer now. So, beginning of your career, Toronto Academy. So, you started playing. You're from Toronto, obviously. You started playing there. I'm wondering why it didn't work out there. Why did you not end up playing for their team? Was it something that they didn't see in you? Was there what happened that you eventually had to leave Toronto to go play somewhere else?
Also, I had a follow-up question to that. Who is Toronto 3? Because I saw you had some games for Toronto 3.
yeah, I think there's like a new I think USL has like 2 divisions now, right?
Okay.
So I think
Okay.
that Toronto 3 team is like an academy team. I think it's probably their senior academy team now playing
Okay.
in that league. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, man. My time in Toronto was interesting. I got in really late. When Toronto FC came into the fold, they kind of picked all the best players and just took them into the academy and kind of messed up like the club system in Toronto. You know what I mean? They poached all the talent, and then there was nothing really else. And at a time, you'd get really discouraged if you weren't part of TFC, because it was like, if you're not part of TFC, then you don't have an opportunity to go pro, and that means you're not good enough. So you got to find something else. So for me, I got in really late at like 19, and that's probably kind of unheard of in like US soccer, going into an academy that late, right?
Right.
But yeah, I guess Canada was a little bit different in that sense, and TFC just didn't have a good structure when I got in there. You know what I mean? There were coaching changes all the time, change of identity. They don't know what they're looking for, right? So now that I'm mature and I understand that, and I look at a club like where I'm at LAFC, I understand TFC wasn't in the best position. So yeah, maybe they let some guys go through the cracks like me, but they weren't set up to find people like us. So my time there, it was fun. It was good. I had a lot of friends there in the academy, and then um, I worked my way up to be like a top prospect on the senior team. Like, for sure I could honestly say that I was one of the best players. And there was just something not working. Like, I remember they sent me on loan when I was like 20 or 19, and I went to go play for Wilmington. There was like 10 teams in the USL at that time. It was like really small. And I did like really well, man. Like Wilmington was not a very good team at the time. Got into the playoffs and stuff. Scored a couple goals. Scored against Orlando that year when they won it. And I'm thinking, wow, I've done something that no academy player has ever done. I've gone on loan. I've gone and played pro, right, at the time. And now I'm coming back to a club that it's like, okay, the next thing is you got to get signed. So I remember after that, I was only with the first team. Like I couldn't train with the academy team anymore because of all the rules and stuff. So I was only with the first team. They had given me a locker room in the first team. And I remember Greg Vanny telling me I want you to get accustomed to this, get used to it for next year. So I'm thinking, fuck, I've done it. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear. My bad.
Nah, you're good.
No, you're all right. All the little kids, dude, just learning bad vocabulary with you.
So I'm like, oh my God, I've done enough, next year is going to be a great year. I'm going to get my turn. I'm telling you, Benny, I'm going to games. I'm doing like the warm-ups, or not the warm-ups, the workouts at the stadiums with the teams that like with the players who aren't in the 18, and then sitting in the suite. They're treating me like a first team player, right?
Yeah.
So then preseason rolls around next year, and they don't call me into preseason with the first team. They're like, you're gonna be with the USL team, and I'm like, what? And obviously, like, you know my personality. Like, if I don't agree with something, like, I'm gonna say it. But back then I didn't know the best way to say it, so my body language was probably bad. I'm a young kid, you know, thinking that, you know, I deserve more. And they like made me like run around the field. Like, they were treating me worse than draft picks. Yeah, it was bad. And I was just like, I'm fed up with this team. So in that off season, like, my agent at the time was Nicky Budulich, who's like now at Miami. And he was like, Orlando City are interested. Like, do you want to go? Like, I need to know if you want to go. And I'm like, yes, 100%. And after TFC found out, they blacklisted me.
You can blacklist someone like that?
Oh,
like,
man.
it's crazy.
They'd have to sell you at that point, right?
Huh?
Would they have to sell you at that point?
No, they just like they literally were like, this guy is ungrateful. I think that's what they felt.
Oh, got it.
Like,
blacklisted you at Toronto.
Yeah, at Toronto. Like, I was ungrateful that like they were doing all this stuff for me, and I wanted to leave the club. You know, so that next year I played USL. I played left back. You know what I mean? I had a coach there telling me that I would never make it pro unless I was a left back.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go any further. So that year sucked, man. We were terrible, horrible.
I remember Toronto too being awful in the USL. Awful. Like playing mostly academy kids and just getting crushed every game.
We were going out like almost like every night, bro. We did not care. We're getting treated like we were first team players in the city. You know what I mean? Like, soccer wasn't that big back then. So they heard TFC, they assumed you're on the first team. Like, you're at the clubs, like all this stuff. So we were just living life in that sense. But, you know, like, at the end of the year, I did well. I was one of like the better players on the team, and they come to me and they say, yeah, we're not going to pick up your option. And I was shocked, man. Like, I did not see it coming.
This is 2015?
This is 15, yeah. Yeah. And I was so shocked. And then these guys are trying to like petty me and stuff. They're like, oh, like, if you need any help, we'll help you, you know. I'm like, what are you guys gonna do for me? You can't do nothing. Like, what are you gonna say? It's like, yeah, he's a good player. He didn't fit our system. You guys should take him. No team ever says that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I ended up leaving, went to Louisville, and it was just after that I always had this chip on my shoulder that I was going to prove Toronto that they made a mistake. And since then, they have not had a homegrown player or like an academy player product come out and do something better than I've done. So they see me in the hallway every day, and they're like so nice to me and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, you guys fucked up still.
You guys are dead to me.
Well, I'll put some money on it that you'll be playing for Toronto at some point in your career, bro.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I feel like I don't know. We'll see.
That grudge is still heavy, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of changes got to happen over there.
Yeah. Time heals all wounds, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So Louisville, then you go to Louisville. You obviously, I was going to ask you how that happened, but obviously you explained it. But Louisville, you played there 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
You won both times.
No, just the second year.
The second year. So how was that experience? I know you played as a winger there, right?
Yeah, winger.
Yeah. So how was that experience? Winning championships, playing at that level before you came to LAFC.
Yeah, it was definitely a big change from Toronto. I went from training with like 16 and 17-year-olds to training with men who are like fighting to put food on the table for their families. So it was different. You know, there's a different hunger within the team, and you had to grow up quickly. You know, it was like a dogfight every day in training. And James O'Connor was our coach, and it was just like, run, like work your bollocks off. Like, it was just, you know, like that's what it was. And
yeah,
I think I had a little target on my back because I was like this MLS academy product going to the USL, and like I had to prove like my worth early on. And once I got the respect of my teammates and coaches, then it was good for times, you know. And I was playing left wing, which was really weird, but I had the freedom to just go and dribble and try and create stuff, which was nice. But I always knew I was a center mid. This is a weird thing. Like, I remember telling my teammates at Louisville, like, it would be after training, and I'd be like, watch guys, like, you know, as my career goes on, I'm going to be a center mid. And these guys, the center mids are like, no chance. You can't, no. And I'm like, all right, watch, you know? And now like, it's funny because I'm still good friends with them and they see me in the games playing the MLS and like, oh, you're doing so well. And I'm like, you guys never listen to me, man. Like,
so you actually knew that was your position. Cause I mean, I always thought Bob was kind of the one that just found that in you and put you there.
No, like growing up, I was a center mid.
Okay.
It wasn't until I went to TFC. I played center mid at TFC, but it wasn't until my USL year they started moving me around to left back. And then after that, it just got screwed up.
So I remember this when you got signed to LAFC in 2018. I believe we only had 2 center mids at the time. One was myself, the other one was Callum Malice. And I remember hearing from Bob or whatever from somebody saying like, "Oh, we got another center mid." I'm like, "Well, thank God, finally, right?" So then I heard it was you, and I looked you up and whatever, and I'm like, "But this guy doesn't play center mid. Like, what do you mean he's a center mid, right?" And then I'm like, he can't be that good. Like he's gonna like, it's just kind of like one of those. It's like whatever. You don't know what you're gonna get from this guy. And then you came into training. We were training at UCLA, which one was a really hard pitch, bouncy. So even the cleanest of touches was like not clean enough. And I remember you playing in there. It was like me and you and Callum, and I was like, nah, dude, this guy can't play center mid. Like. He's like got these long legs. He's lanky. He's like kind of like not super clean on the ball. Like he does some things kind of nice because he's got those long legs and you can kind of pull and drag and all that stuff. But it's like it's not tidy enough. And then I saw Bob just like talk to you every 5 minutes. I feel like he talks to everybody, right? But he was like so persistent with you. And he was like, no, this body shape, bring the ball on your left foot, play it with your right or vice versa with the right, the left, you know, half space, half turn, all this stuff. And then like, you just start seeing you become, my first impression of you was like the same as your teammates, like not a chance, dude. You're not a center midfielder. And then like, I don't remember. I mean, we were there for, 2 months and we did no fitness and all we did was soccer, football, right? As Bob calls it. But like, dude, you evolved over just like the 2-month preseason into a not only like a okay, like you can use him at center mid to like a legit player. And like I remember not so much in the Seattle game because we didn't see it too much, like we didn't play that well that game. But in the Salt Lake game, like it was tiki taka all over the field. And so I was like, dang, dude, Bob for sure saw something in this guy that I didn't. And he,
what was it, Mark? What was it that Bob saw?
But I'm curious about one thing, Mark. Like you said that you knew you were a center midfielder. Did you see a new part of the game as a central midfielder through Bob, or did he just allow you to kind of like be yourself? So that's what I'm more curious about.
It was like, I just think I didn't have the ability to grow in that position all those years before. So that preseason, like you said, Bob was calling my name. That's all I remember. Like that's all. Like I tell people, that preseason was like the hardest preseason I've ever had. And you said we didn't have fitness. Like every play, even if I got out of plays, like you said, like I made like a cool move or something that doesn't come off very often, Bob would stop it and be like, "No, that's not what you need to do. You need to do this and this." And it was hard, man. Like it was like I could hear his voice in my head even when he wasn't talking. And then I started to realize I was like, okay, if I like just keep listening to him, like, I think something good is going to come out of this. And then, the Seattle game, you couldn't see too much in it. Right. But the RSL game, when it opened up, I was like, oh shit, like I can do this, like I've been wanting to prove myself at this level for so long. And I'm like, I have it. Like I can pass, I can dribble, like I'm strong enough to hold like people off of me. I was like, I just got to add that simple part that Bob's talking about, the movement and the quick touches and stuff like that. So I already was very confident and knew that like that's where I saw myself on the field when I watched games. I didn't watch strikers, I didn't watch wingers, I watched center mids. And like Paul Pogba was like someone I watched a lot, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And Bob was like, no, not Paul. Watch Matic. He was like, you have to be like Matic. You have to be like Matic. And I was like,
just because he's left-footed,
so slow and shit. Like,
I think you're more like Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. So it started to evolve, and then I just started getting more comfortable. And it was like I always knew the biggest thing, Sal, was like I liked being on the ball growing up. always. It doesn't matter what position. I wanted to dictate the game. I wanted to be on the ball. And being a center mid allowed you to do that more than any other position. So once I started like taking into what Bob was saying, and yeah, Benny, you helped me a lot that year too, talking to me. I was just soaking up everything. Like I did not go into games or practice thinking that I knew the answers. I was like always like trying to figure out like from the older players and Bob and other players, and it was good. I just soaked up everything. And now I wish I'm trying to keep my mentality like that still, because I think if you can always be like that, you're always going to learn so much more than when you close off and be like, well, I've done this, I've done that. So no, it was a good transition, man.
I'm just curious, what was it that, Bob said, I want this guy and I'm going to make him, a top player? Like, did Michael Bradley, did he speak highly of you at Toronto maybe? Like, what was it? I mean,
it could have been there because I did play very well when I was with the first team in Toronto, and I had a good relationship with Michael.
Okay.
But I think it was the Gold Cup, like the 2017 Gold Cup. I had never played with the men's team like in a competitive match, and I got thrown into the game against Costa Rica, the best team in our group, and like I had to play center mid. And after that, like I think that's when teams started to realize like, oh, like he's like a number 8. He's very mobile, like defensively he gets forward, and then things started to like open up for me after that. So I think that was the game that like Bob was like, yeah, I can use this guy.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun that first year playing with you, Edward. Obviously, Latif didn't play in there yet. Lee, it was a lot of fun. And you're like, for me, you're always a story I tell to try and help people understand what Bob does with players, because my initial impression of you to what my impression is of you now is like it's night and day, and like he says, as a center midfielder. And so I think Bob's always been that kind of coach that instead of trying to like improve the team and have like that kind of macro view of the team, he tries to improve each and every player so that then the team improves as well. And so I feel like he's on me, right? I was 34 years old at the time and had played with him already, but I told him as well in conversations that I've had that during that preseason, I still learned more than my 4 years with him on the national team. Because on the national team, you don't get that day in, day out kind of training. And you don't get that coach that's in your ear all the time because he's got to like focus on other things. And maybe also because I wasn't a consistent starter on the national team, he like, maybe, used other players to, with his time. But even that for me as a 34-year-old, I mean, he was on me all the time, like receive the ball with this way with the, in the right. And what he hates more than anything is like a center midfielder just runs around everywhere to try and look for the ball. He wants to like stop running, you find the pocket, stay there. Like, so yeah, for sure. I mean, that was huge for me as well. I can only imagine for you as like a younger player trying to grasp all those ideas that Bob's throwing on us. But it obviously had a big impact. So, all right, next topic, Canadian national team, dude. So you said 2017 you played in Gold Cup, but you kind of got thrust in there. 2018 you came to LAFC. You had the year that you had. 2019 you had the year that you had. MLS All-Star. You played in the Gold Cup in 2019. You also played kind of like different positions. I think you played left back a few times, right? I think you played in the center a few times too. Didn't you? I believe. So what's that process been like? I know you guys, want to try and make the World Cup in 2022. So what's that been like? Like playing on the national team, you guys got one of the best players in CONCACAF now with you guys as well. So it's got to be pretty exciting to be part of that team right now.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously the initial, like at the beginning when I first got into the national team, there was a lot of things that need to be fixed. There were some players that shouldn't have been in there that were always getting called in there. And I think once, John Herdman came into the fold, I honestly think that we had a good system before him, but I don't think we were getting the right players. I think something that John did was getting players to commit to Canada, young players who were playing in Europe and all like that. So it started to shift a little bit, and my time with the national team has been up and down. You know what I mean? Again, I felt like I had to prove myself as a midfielder in the starting 11. Like I remember I was playing like like the left side of like a 4-3-3 at the top, and then like eventually I'm playing left back, and I had to have a conversation with John, and I said, listen, like I will play left back for you because that's the type of player I am. I will do what's best for the team, but you got to like promise me that you will give me a fair chance to be a center mid in this squad. I can't be going and playing for the best team in the MLS in center mid, you know what I mean? And then going into a national team and playing left back. Like,
Yeah.
and the players, like, it's no knock on the other players who are center mids, but they're playing in the MLS too, and my team is crushing their team. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't see so we definitely butt heads a little bit at that time, but it's been a good experience so far because of all the young talent that's coming through. You look at Alphonso Davies, and he blew up in the 2017 Gold Cup, but then 2019 again, and then Jonathan David, I think he's going to Lille now from Ghent, and the feeling around the national team was different. It was we were more confident.
Right.
It was like we weren't scared of opponents, and obviously we're still trying to get to that level with Mexico and the US, but there's more belief now, I think, between the players and the group that we have. So my time with the national team is continuing to get better, and we want to get into this World Cup. I think the way the CONCACAF changed the format, I don't know if it's official yet, but I know they're changing the format, and I think that will benefit us, just because they didn't set it up well for us to improve our ranking through the previous format. So it was kind of unfair.
You were getting lumped in with a few good teams in your group.
Yeah, exactly. And
I think now it might be like quote unquote easier to make it, but at the same time, I think you get less. You can't stumble because I think there's less games now, right? In the Hex, you have 10 games or whatever. First, you have to qualify for the Hex, but if you qualify for the Hex, then you have 10 games. So I think now it's going to be like groups of 4 and the top 2 or something like that, or I don't know exactly. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see what they decide.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I think, I have the belief. I think we have a good team. I think we still got to evolve. We still got to have smarter football minds, man. I think that's a big thing, and that from playing with Bob. You don't have to be the fastest, you don't have to be the strongest, but if you can think better than your opponent, and I feel for a long time we've always tried to be a team that's so defensively solid and not going to give Mexico an inch. It's like, no, why can't we just battle them mentally, and try and win the game like that? And I think once we start having more players on the field like that, it will benefit us. Because you look at the US and you guys have a wide variety of players you can pick on. You know what I mean? Canada, we don't have that. So we need everyone to be a little bit smarter in the mind. But it's been going well. And, I'm excited, and I'm hoping that we can really get into this World Cup before we host a World Cup.
Yeah. I think this upcoming World Cup, more than ever, you guys have the most talent to get there for sure. I mean, Benny, we talked about this when was it? The Gold Cup was going on last year.
Gold Cup.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys were always kind of our dark horse. I think guys within the MLS kind of know that there's a lot of talent on that team. And are you playing, if you're the coach, are you playing Davies in an attacking role, or are you keeping him at left back? That's a tough question because
that's
I
feel like the fifth already.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's tough. He needs to play left back. He needs a winger in front of him who's going to pin the opposition's fullback back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you don't have a winger who can do that, who can help him and create that space, then it's tough. And you look at the way Bayern plays, they don't defend. So
yeah, he's left wing.
Push up. He's a winger.
Yeah.
Right. So ultimately, I would put
down.
him on the wing. I would put him on the wing.
I think I would do the same.
I don't think we have a winger that can be so threatening and behind like he can. So
he needs to be on the wing, I think.
Yeah,
as well.
I agree.
All right. Well,
all right.
I hope you guys make the World Cup as well. I think you will, dude. I
think you will too. Yeah.
I wish you luck in that endeavor.
Thank you, man.
All right. Next question. So you said in the quick hitters, you think you'll be in Europe by 2021. I'm curious. Obviously, Alpha over there, and he's done ridiculously well. There's plenty of Americans there as well who are doing well. So where do you think you not only might end up, but where do you think you could be the best version of yourself? What league? Germany, England. I know you've talked about sometimes.
Yeah.
Whatever, Spain, Italy, France. Where do you see yourself, making the jump, and where do you think you'll have the most success if you go there?
Right off the bat, I would have to say Germany. I think it's a good league, but I also think there are teams there that could be stepping stones to get to bigger teams. You know what I mean? I feel like with England, it's you have half the teams in the league that are these massive clubs. You know what I mean? Where they're gonna go after known names to try and make sure they can compete, and then you have the bottom 10 teams that are just they don't play football. So I think for me,
I was one of them once.
Huh? Yeah.
I played on one of them once.
So I know
we were further bottom than just the bottom 10. We were the bottom 1.
Is that still the lowest point total in Premier League history?
By far.
Is it?
11 points in 38 games. Man.
11 points? I didn't know it was that low. Wow.
Yeah, 11 points in 38 games. But yeah, you're right, Mark. I was there, and I was making sterling. So not a bad way to make a living for a year.
Exactly, right? So, but I think for me, it's important to find a team that suits my type of football, that wants to play. You know what I mean? I haven't been on a team in a while who just wants to lump the ball and is just everyone's super athletic and stuff like that. So, I think there's some German teams that want to play football, but German football is very high pace and just counterattacking. So, I don't know, maybe you look at like Holland, but Holland's not that big of a league, So it's interesting to see what happened, but I wouldn't turn away anything, man. Like if something came and it was a top team in Turkey, who they are playing good football, I would go. So I think the biggest thing is making sure that I can play the type of style that club plays.
Right. Where's Atiba Hutchinson playing? Isn't he playing in Turkey? Yeah, he's still playing there, right?
Yeah.
Just following in his footsteps. Go play for FC Copenhagen, dude. He was when I played in Denmark. He was playing at Copenhagen. He was a baller, dude. Baller. Yeah. I love the way he plays.
He's a very good player, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I'm going to keep an eye on you wherever you go. You can make the same road that Alfonso made. I was just telling Sal before you got on that when we were talking about Alfonso and what we thought of him in MLS, and I said when he left MLS and I knew he was going to Bayern, I told my dad, I was like, he'll be starting for Bayern within this year, and it wasn't. He only started the following season.
Yeah.
But like, I almost feel like they kept him from playing in the beginning to just fully, get him in there.
Yeah.
Wait, I just heard myself echo.
Yeah, you've been echoing just now.
That's weird. Don't know why. Anyways.
Wait, do we have a guest appearance?
Oh,
that's why. Look at this guy, dude.
Are you guys mid-interview right now?
We're mid-interview, and then I started hearing me echoing. I'm wondering if it was you.
Just wanted to say hi, guys.
What's up, Mike?
I miss you guys.
Hi. Our fans are going to love this. Say hi, Ike.
Hey, go ahead and tell. I haven't told Mark yet what you asked me to tell him, so you can tell him.
Okay, so this is my 5-second appearance, and I got to go. I was a huge fan of yours, but you've dropped the third of my power rankings list behind of center midfielders behind Darlington and Mbaum.
Mbaum.
Yep.
This guy Ike is delusional, dude.
I do have a lot going, so maybe that's why I am delusional. But Mbaum deserves better right now. All right, that's all I got.
I think your Nagby love is a little bit insane, but like I understand it. Like,
but justified,
Nagby's
right?
A baller.
Yeah,
but like you love him like to the nth. But okay, fair enough. But Mbaum, first of all, I'm pretty sure I brought Mbaum to you first. But right now, that's like pity love at this point because Vancouver can't buy himself a game.
Listen, leave me alone, Mark. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks,
Why'd you dox you like that? Peace.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Am I still echoing or am I done now?
You're good.
All right. Actually, that was a perfect segue there, the last part, because the plead the fifth. My last question involves the LA Galaxy and El Trafico and all that stuff. First of all, 2 nights ago, right? As we're recording this, 2 nights ago, you guys beat them 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, you did not play well in the first half. You guys looked, out of sorts, making Edward, Latif, making bad passes. You guys hardly ever make bad passes, and giving them the opportunities to get those, those goals. And so, obviously, second half, you guys crushed it, scored 4 goals. Diego was on a different planet, scoring. I don't think I've ever scored more than 1 goal in a game. So, like, scoring 4 goals is just
It's like high school
absurd.
soccer.
Like, I think Diego doesn't even want Carlos to come back at this point. He's taking penalties and everything.
Look at how many goals we've scored, man. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So my
Sell
question
'em.
is
Sell 'em. No,
first of all, how is the El Trafico feel right now? I think we finally evened up the series. Is the 4-3 game completely out of everybody's minds now?
Yeah, we don't remember it, man. It's in the past, Like the thing is like, yeah, sure. Like it was I think Galaxy needed that win, man. Like what do they like? Look at them right now. They have 1 point from the first 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
Like, the
They're
most
in last place. They're in last place in the Western Conference.
So it's like they look. It's like it's our World Cup final playing us, and I give it to their coach. I don't know what he says to these players, but they are like riled up for these games. Like, obviously we're riled up too. We want to play our football. They do not care. They're ready to
so riled up that they forgot how to defend.
So like, we know, like, they're like, yeah, they're going to be hard on us, but it's like they go into half tied 2-2 and they just work their ass off for 45 minutes and they're tied 2-2 and they know that maybe they've been outworking us. Then in the second half, they're discouraged because they're like, wow, how can we keep this up? We've never had to keep it up like this for that long. And then you see it just opens up. And once we get that goal, I was like, guys, I'm telling guys in the huddle, I'm like, we score the first goal, the game is over. It's done. They have nothing else. And then they start bickering at each other and they lose their head. They're done. 6-2.
Bro, I'm surprised. I want to know if you're surprised, because I'm surprised that I thought when Ibra left, as much as he scored, 55 goals in 2 seasons, I thought once he left, as a team, they'd improve, but they haven't.
I thought so too.
They're still searching for an identity. They literally don't have an identity yet. I don't know.
Like, they should be able to. Like,
they should be able to.
Ibra would score goals, but he would not help in any team defense. He sucks the confidence of certain players.
You'd think they'd be able to
now
establish
you're playing
one.
together, and you'd start finding that a little bit more instead of relying on one guy to basically score all your goals, and the rest of the guys just kind of defend and play for that guy. I thought they would improve
a pressing style forward, and I don't know. It's like some of these guys they get are individually talented, very talented players, but are they a team? I don't know.
And I think obviously they miss Jonathan Dos Santos big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he's their most important player. Even when Zlatan was on the team, he's like, but these guys they whip in tons of crosses. Like I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're fueled off of at this point. I don't know how they train. I don't know what their ideas are. Like, yes, I think their coach is a good coach. He's proven it with other teams, but it's like, if they don't, like, they need that physical battle. If they win the physical battle, they feel like they'll win the game, and you can't do that all the time. In the MLS, you're not going to be up for a game all the time like that. So I just don't know. I really don't know.
I think it's strange. It's strange because they have some good players too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they have some good players.
Pavon's a baller, in my opinion. I mean, Chicharito, for as bad as he's looked, he's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Good in his first 3 games or whatever. But he's a goal scorer. And then, I mean, you have guys, solid MLS players.
Yeah.
But the back line, Benny, like, will the back line be able to sustain they have attacking pieces, but their back line, like, no one's hurt right now out of their back line, are they? I don't know.
Starting back line.
Yeah.
I mean, Sal, we know Sash.
Yeah.
And I've talked to him, and I mean, he said Insua is a good player, left back. I mean,
is that
overall Felcher on the right. Like, Steris is a guy that's played in MLS for a while. Maybe not like one of the top tier defenders, but a guy that should be able to, play. So, like, it's just weird. And obviously they're missing Jonah, who's their best player if he's there. So they're missing guys, but they have like a midfield with with Sasha, Sebastian Lletget. They have a Joe Corona, like guys that should be able to play, and they just don't look like a good team. So it's just weird to me. I thought they were going to improve without Ibra, but man, they don't look good.
I mean, I will say with the back line, like it's never easy if your whole team's not playing to a style, to a philosophy. Like if you're in the 4 and you're just getting like, play after play, these guys are turning with no pressure and things like that, it makes it, a million times harder. So I mean, that could be happening as well.
All I know is if I was on LAFC right now, as you are, I'd be salivating at being able to play these guys in derbies, because you guys are so head and shoulders above them right now. I mean, even like I said, you guys didn't play well in the first half, and you guys beat them 6-2. So I don't know, crazy.
I think they'll turn it around like this season, but just hasn't looked good. I don't know if it wasn't for this MLS's back tournament, maybe this wouldn't be happening. But yeah, I think they'll figure it out.
All right, one more follow-up question. In terms of you guys, I don't know if the season's going to happen. You guys tied your first game, won your second. Obviously, you're going to make it to the next round, I think, pretty much whether you win or not, with 4 points. The final game, which, by the way, should be a good game, I think.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's another, like, rivalry.
Portland's look decent, dude.
Yeah.
I think Portland's a solid team, like the way they play, and Jeremy's balling, and I mean, Diego and Blanco are good players. So, anyways, I think it'll be a good game. But having said that, like, what do you guys – is there, like, some kind of thought process like this season where we're going to do it all, or is it one of those like where, damn, like this whole, like Carlos isn't here for this, Corona, like it's slowing down and it's kind of like almost doesn't even feel like a real season at this point. Like what's the thought process there for the rest of the year?
I don't think we even look that far. It's just so hard to like prepare yourself mentally for something you can't see like that. Like we don't know if there's going to be, games after this tournament, right? So I think we're just trying to look at it like day to day and be like, okay, we have another game in 3 days. Like, let's take care of that. We all knew Carlos wasn't coming early on, so it was easy.
No, that's not true. I asked you, and you're like, I don't know. You should have told me then.
Well, we can't say anything. we can't say anything because who knows? Maybe they pull something out of the hat, and this guy has his own villa.
I'm just playing, bro. I'm just playing.
But what do you call it? Like, so we already knew we were going into the tournament without him, like, and we still wanted to like show, I think, prove that we can still be LAFC without Carlos, because Carlos is a great player. Don't get me wrong; he's the best player that I think has been in the MLS for a long time now, and it's just, I think to give credit to some other players, you look at like Diego stepping up. Like he's had to be in the shadow of Carlos for a long time now. So I think it was good. Like everyone was excited to have an opportunity to show people that we're still LAFC without Carlos.
Yeah.
In terms of doing it all this year, it's tough, man. It's really tough because, we're in this tournament, but like the situation is terrible, and I think, like I said, we just got to look at game by game. Like we try to win every game, and I think that's the best way to go about it. We can't be like, oh, we're gonna win this tournament. We're gonna win this tournament. It's just, let's just take care of our football. Try to keep true to our identity, and hopefully that will take care of everything else.
Right. Yeah. No, good way to be. So much unknown. So I think do we have any other questions, Sal, before he starts pleading too many fifths over here? Let's see if this guy's got the cojones that he seems to have before we grant him the title. But so now we're going to go into Ike's interrogation room. We had a little cameo by Ike, but he's not going to be involved in this one. And are you getting like a?
I'm getting ready.
You should be getting a water because your seat is going to start warming up.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So your seat's going to start warming up. You're going to enter Ike's interrogation room, and we're going to give you 5 questions. You get to plead the 5th one time, so save your plead for the hard questions. And if you answer all of them, you can ask me or Sal one question of your choosing. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
All right, first question. Let's go right off the bat. You are the new LAFC coach. You got several injuries so far, and Carlos is missing, and there's been a few trades over the offseason. So there's been a few movements in the starting 11. I want your starting 11 with everybody healthy and ready to go.
This year?
Yeah, right now. With the players that you guys have right now, you're starting 11.
Okay. I would say Cheeky left back.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah. Cheeky
Okay.
left back. Eddie left center back. Tristan right center back.
I like that.
Andy Nahar right back.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Andy.
Center mids.
You forgot a goalie, by the way.
Huh? Oh, goalie. Ooh.
Bring Tyler Miller back to the team. Is that what
goalie? I'm gonna have to go with Kenneth.
Okay.
Center mids, me, Edward, Latif.
That's easy, huh?
Yeah, that's easy. And then I'm gonna have to Diego on the left, Bradley up top, Carlos on the right.
BWP, huh? Old man BWP still starting.
BWP,
Clinical, man.
man.
Clinical.
He's always gonna score the close ones, man.
Hey, Dio's gonna be pissed at you, bro.
Even if everyone's healthy, there's a good chance Dio's not healthy.
Yeah, I know that. I still remember his first week of training where he literally walked off with hamstrings he would be there for every day, but then walk off and no one, where's Dio? It's all of a sudden we were playing 10 on 9. Where the hell is Dio? Walked off without telling anybody. This man.
So going on to question 2, because it kind of goes off of that.
Question 1, well done.
If you had to trade one of those starting 11 players to the Galaxy in return for one of their players, who would it be?
Wait, keep in mind, we've asked this question to Will Ferrell, and he answered Christian Pavone, which means you cannot take Christian Pavone. So you got to pick some other player for the Galaxy.
He picked Jordan Harvey. So, but he's not in your starting 11.
Jordan's not in his starting, so he can. You have to. Don't say you wouldn't. Maybe the answer really is you wouldn't, but you have to. You got to get you're over the cap. You got to get rid of somebody and bring in somebody from the Galaxy. So good luck. And you can't say yourself either, Mark. Don't say yourself. You can't trade you for Jonah.
Oh my God, this is gonna be. You know what? I'm gonna say this because we have such a good relationship. And
you're gonna throw Latif under the bus?
I think. Oh my God, this is hard. I might have to plead the fifth on this one, man. Because people are
can't throw LB7 under the bus, bro.
Huh?
You can't throw LB7 under the bus.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So, oh my God. Yo, this is okay. Who's their right back? No, Felcher, no chance, man. I can't. No.
You're gonna. Andy hasn't even played a game yet.
That's a safe bet. You know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, you pick somebody or you plead the fifth. It's a simple question. Keep in mind, there's 3 more questions coming.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say. I say Bradley Wright Phillips for Chicharito, I guess.
No. It's a terrible pick. Now you're more over the cap.
Well, no matter what, we're going to be over the cap. The Galaxy players are on way more money than all of us. So,
all right, fair enough. BWP is out. Chicharito's playing alongside Carlos and Diego. I don't know that, but all right. All right, third question. This is a fun one. You shouldn't have too much trouble. You can rank these in order of talent in their respective sport that I'm or thing here that I'm going to put.
Okay.
Carlos Vela as a basketball player. I'm sure you saw his awful 6.5-foot dunk on his rim.
Okay.
Me as a fine wheel spinner. Or Latif at heading ping pong balls into the trash can.
All right.
I can't believe you did your boy dirty like that again.
Who, Latif?
Yeah.
This guy is he's so susceptible to that shit, man.
For
All
for
right,
people
I'm
that don't
saying-
know, you guys threw ping pong balls at his head until you threw an egg at his head, and he headed it.
he's always on his phone. He should have seen the video
Yeah.
going viral. You know what I mean? It's kind of
That's
his
true.
fault. So.
That's true.
So when you said spiel, like wheel spinning, what is that?
You don't remember that?
What
All
is,
right,
what-
let me go back. I thought you remembered this. You don't remember when you guys made me
Oh,
spin
oh.
that wheel
Okay,
for
okay,
parking,
okay,
and you guys like changed the handicap sign to make it seem
Yeah.
like I parked there?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
pissed.
Okay, so ranked in best, I would say
Yeah.
for sure your wheel spinning ability is number one.
Definitely.
I've never seen Carlos really play basketball, but based on his dunk, and I think he's left-handed too, so I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
He had like
So
a 6-inch vert.
I'm gonna put him second, but Latif's got to go last for sure because that's not even a skill you want to be like proud of,
No vision either. How did you not see that the egg doesn't look like a ping pong ball?
Because Latif is about that appeal to the audience that's around him. So if
Right.
we're like, yeah, go, he's like loving it. You know what I mean? He's doing his little dance and stuff. We're just throwing eggs at his head, and he's happy. He's got that good reaction from
Oh
everything.
man, Latif, dude, I miss that guy. Tell him what's up for me, all
He's
right?
hilarious. I will. I told him today I was going to be on. So
Good.
All right. Fourth
All right.
question. Rank these top 3 North American players: Carlos Vela, Alphonso Davies, and Christian Pulisic, from first to worst.
Carlos is first. Easy,
Okay.
like easy. Guy can still go and play at Barca. So
Okay.
I
I think Alfonso could start at Barca, by the way.
think he could. They play a different type of football. He's going to have to get on the ball a lot more.
Right.
You know, play intricate passes. But and between Alfonso and Christian, like Alfonso is making way more noise in the world than Christian Pulisic is. Like if you look at how much the American media talk about Christian, like the Canadian media doesn't say that. Like you guys have Bleacher Report, you have Fox Sports, you have all this stuff, and it's all about Christian Pulisic. And yes, he's a very good player. I think he's a good player. But I think what Alphonso Davies has been able to do, it's like this guy is a regular starter on Bayern. You know what I mean? Like there's a good chance Bayern beats Chelsea. So I know Pulisic is doing well, but I think right now Alfonso has taken that away from him. I think when Pulisic was at Dortmund, it was no question about it. You know what I mean? He was very active and creating opportunities. I think at Chelsea he's better, but I think Alfonso has just excelled past him at this moment right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to put Alfonso second and then Christian third. All
Yeah, I'd
three.
be cur-
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
obviously. I'd be curious to know, like in terms of media, who's been getting more hype over there, not here. Like in Germany, has Alfonso gotten more hype than Christian in England?
in England, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's what I'm like. I pay attention to these games, and he's doing really well, Christian. Like, you know what I mean? And he's like one of the bright spots in Chelsea. They got a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
Alfonso is like taking over the league. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know there was a Rookie of the Year in Bundesliga.
Rookie of
by
the
way.
Year.
I think this is like a new thing that they invented.
Bro, I heard something that like I don't know how true this is, but I heard like Real Madrid is like interested in him as a replacement for Marcelo. Like
that wouldn't surprise me, dude.
Yeah.
You know
Like in my opinion, so position might not be left back, but on a very good team, it is left back.
Correct.
And as a left back, he is, in my opinion, easily a top 5 left back in the world.
Yes, exactly.
So like, yeah, it does make sense to me. That's why I said I think he can play on Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, is Jordi Alba still the starter in Barcelona as a left back?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's got to be getting like up there in age. And so Alfonso would make perfect sense both there. Marcelo's getting older as well. So on all the top teams, I mean, he could play anywhere at this point, I think.
Anywhere. So, yeah, those are my top 3, like in that order. Yeah.
All
All right. My last question, I'm glad that this is the last question. You've answered all of them, so you still can't plead the 5th. But in my last question, I'm going to put you to the test between your boys there. Arguably, maybe not to you, but arguably the best midfield trio, maybe to you it's definite, but the best midfield trio in the league, you, Edward, and Latif. You got to cut one of them. Who are you cutting, Edward or Latif?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut Latif. The thing is like Latif is a great center mid, and he's done excellent. But there's still a part of me that believes he's not a center mid. Like he doesn't think like a center mid. He's just a good footballer who gets out of tight spaces and finds himself in good position. But like Edward is the one who passes me the ball. You know what I mean? So if I'm thinking about my game, like who is going to give me the ball in good situations, it's going to be Edward. So, you know, like when we're in training, Bob doesn't go, Mark, Latif, you are the two midfielders on the gray team. And like, you know what I mean? It's always like me and Edward or me and Poncho or something like, you know what I mean? So I would say you got to cut Latif, but he'll take care of himself, man. He's good.
Yeah. No, Latif could play anywhere, dude. He could play on the wing. You could play as the 9. Honestly,
I should have put him at right back. I should have put him at right back in my thing.
He could have played right back.
Added
But now you
another
got Andy,
mid,
dude.
and then trade the center mid for Jonathan Dos Santos. I knew.
That's why I asked you that who's the starting 11 before I gave you Sal gave you the follow-up question. Yeah. All right. Well, you answered them all. I really thought we were going to get you to plead the 5th today, but we did not. So congratulations. You succeeded in pleading or not pleading the 5th. And now you get any question that you like that me or Sal have to answer truthfully. So have you come up with one?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Shoot.
So my question right now would be for both of you. It'd be if you can step in to be a head coach of any MLS team right now, which one would you think you could step in and do better than the current head coach?
Oof. Do you want to write down a list?
Go.
Oh man,
Sal, you want to go first?
I need a little time to think about it. I mean, obviously it's got to be a bottom half team, right? Because you.
So let me ask you this in terms of your question: pure coaching, or am I involved on the player, like bringing in the players as well, or is it just like with the players that they have?
It's just the players, but that's good. That could be a separate question. Then you're a GM.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, GM at Cincinnati. Like, I don't understand what the hell Cincinnati's doing, like, with how they build their team. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, as a GM, it'd be Cincinnati. As a coach, let's say as a coach where I don't have any say in, like, bringing new players with the roster that they have. Let me think. It's a good question.
That's a tough question, but.
Like, a team you just look at and you're like, why are they set up like this?
Right.
You know, like.
I mean,
thinking.
I'm not too sure they have the players right now, but I feel like Vancouver could be one that's struggling right now. That I feel like you'd have to pick a team that is struggling to find their identity, right? So Vancouver, Cincinnati, towards the bottom of the league.
So
I got one.
Calls you up. Vancouver calls you up tomorrow, Sal, and is like. You know what? We're cutting ties.
Let's go ahead, coach. I wouldn't take it. I'd stay in San Diego.
I got mine. So I'll say this. Galaxy are a team that I think need to change some things, right?
Yeah.
I think they have some decent players. Like you said, there's some guys missing. So like Jonah's massive for that team. But I think there's some things that they can do to try and make the team better. But the team that I think I can take over and improve big time from what they are right now is New York City FC. I think they have really good players.
That's a
really good players on that team. And right now they look like a shell of themselves from last year. So
that's a good answer.
Team I'd take over.
And they have the style of players that I feel like you could kind of build off of.
Yeah. I like a lot of their players, especially their right back.
Tinnerholm. Yeah.
Sal hates Tinnerholm. I don't know like why, but he's a great player.
Especially their right back. He hasn't made an appearance lately.
Does he sometimes play left back too? I don't know if he plays right back or left back. Yeah,
he's versatile.
But anyways, I think I take New York City. I think I could improve.
That's a good. Actually, I didn't think about that.
4 games.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
Yeah, they squeaked the win this morning, right? So
yeah. Well, Miami.
Right, Miami's actually they haven't won a game yet or tied even, but they look like they're an okay team, right? Like if you try and compare them to like Atlanta 2008 or 17 and then LAFC 2018, it's pretty much an impossible comparison, but they've looked like an okay team. They just haven't won anything
so far. They look more like a 2019 Cincinnati.
I think
they're not as bad as Cincinnati. What's
no,
that?
They're not as bad, but
I think Cincinnati first year beats Miami.
No.
Yeah.
in one game.
I don't think so. Cincinnati has never been good. They stunk every year.
But look at
they were better when they played Sal in Open Cup in 2017 before they became
they were tough. They were
MLS
tough.
team.
They were tough.
They were good back then. Oh man. All right. Well, Mark, we appreciate it, dude. We'll let you get some rest. I know you gotta wake up. Oh, you don't have a game, but when you do, you gotta wake up at 5 a.m. for the pasta marinara. So I know it's getting late over there. We appreciate it. We wish you good luck. Tell all my boys I say what's up. Tell Bob I miss him, and we'll talk to you soon, dude.
Yeah,
right,
Mark.
man.
Thanks for being on, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Love what you guys are doing,
bro.
Fun, man.
Thank you.
Hey,
All
start listening to the podcast, bro.
I will. I'm bad with podcasts, man. Yo, half these things I go on, I don't even listen to them after. You know what I mean?
You should listen to this one. There's gonna be people being like, "What the hell? He's getting rid of BWP."
Yeah, I know.
Just subscribe, download, and leave a review, and that'll be enough. You don't have to listen to it.
Now we're forcing our guests to come on and like start being our listeners. Man,
that's what we should include that in the entrance email. Subscribe to leave a review. Yeah.
All right, bro. Enjoy the bubble. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck in the last game and the knockout rounds.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See you later, dude.
All right.
Later.
Thanks, Mark. That was, dude. He did well on the plead the fifth. We can't get anybody to plead, bro. What the hell is wrong with us?
We're. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I thought every time we come up with the questions, we're like, he'll probably plead on this one.
I thought for
sure that. And,
dude, we even like wrote down a question. Was like, he'll probably have pled the fifth by here. Let's make it a little easier on the fifth,
and then he answered the hard one too. So then
we must suck at this. Like, we really need Ike back. I'm glad he had a little cameo on the show for the bit that he came on and kind of.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that one. I think Mark was pretty open and honest about a lot of things, and you guys kind of got an inside story on someone who maybe you don't know a lot about because he's kind of starting to blossom right now. So
yeah,
great player.
Yeah, I enjoyed my time playing with him, man. It was a lot of fun. Like, I was there firsthand seeing him grow into the player that everybody knows now. And so it was cool to find out stories that I didn't know, very well, about how he came through the system in Toronto, then USL, then obviously LAFC. And, I really hope to see him in Europe soon because I think it'd be fun to follow his career, past MLS. Yeah. And
it just goes to show you that there's another guy that, almost slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a constant story with like every single one of our guests. So, all right. Well, in terms of Patreons, you guys just got the bonus pod this last week. And the following week, we'll probably have a Zoom call. Maybe you, Sal, maybe even Nino can jump on there. I know Patrons have been asking for that. So make sure to check that out on the Patreon site. For you guys that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, please go on our Patreon site and become Patreons and subscribe. And I think that's all we have for today. Anything else?
No, that's good.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for showing up today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.